Hello, what is up guys? Arm here today, back with another video covering my boat repair progress. So this is it. This is a longer video, but this is all of the work that went into completely finishing the boat. So all the damage is repaired, all the parts are replaced, and you'll see me raising the sail at the end of this. So anyway, the first step to finishing the repairs, if you don't remember, was sanding off all the parts and whatnot, and that revealed this huge beat up area underneath this black bar here. So this black bar is like a rubber splash guard, and all I had to do was pop it off with a crowbar, break all of the rivets because I'm a bad person, and you pull it back and you can see how much damage there really is underneath that bar. So you can see the entire top section of that is all cracked and caved in. Whenever you put any weight on this whole section like literally falls into the ground. So it's going to take a bit of work. Here's some close-up shots of it. You can see that whole piece is like completely disconnected from the front of the boat there, from the top of the boat. So definitely needed some work to be done. So yeah, I don't know how many more pictures of this I actually have. Apparently I really like showing you how much damage there is. But you get the idea. I had a lot to do. So to get started, to repair like cracks and whatnot, I don't know how much engineering work or things like that many people have done, but basically, if you drill a hole at the end of a crack, it helps to disperse the damage from the crack or the stresses on the crack at those ends to keep it from propagating further. So I went through at the end of every single crack there and drilled a hole through the drill, or with a drill through the boat, to try and relieve the stress on that crack so it doesn't go any further. Next, I got this stuff called JB Weld Water Weld. This stuff has 1,300 pounds per square inch of strength. Pretty strong. Basically, it's a putty, right? You cut a little bit of it off or roll it in your hands and stick it on. This stuff got in my fingernails, got all over my hands. Absolutely terrible to work with, but it does the job. It's basically literally like clay, like Play-Doh, like anything like that you would play with. Rub it in your hands, ram it into the cracks. So what I did is I covered up all of the holes, all of the cracks, all of the stuff that was going on the top of the boat with this stuff to try and, cover up the cracks so that I have a smooth surface to work on after this. So you can see I fed it into that little gap there, smashed it in with my fingers, went all around this whole thing and got the major cracks. You can still see there were some that were left. I did not have enough stuff to fix every single crack, which kind of sucked. But anyway, with what I had, this is what I did. I fixed the biggest holes amongst them. Next stuff up is this marine weld by the same company, Marine Epoxy. So 5,000 psi of pressure that will resist. It's a little epoxy thing that you put together, throw it on there, put some fiberglass in it as well. Spread the fiberglass down, put the epoxy over the top of it. Did a couple layers of fiberglass over the top with this epoxy. This stuff ended up being hard as a rock, and I could have stopped here, but I wanted to go with some overkill after this. But anyway, you can see I'm wrapping it around these edges here, around the rivets, around the eyelets, the holes that the ropes are going to run through, because I don't want those things falling out while I'm out there on the water. So I tried to make that as secure as possible in that area, and then I opened up the second package of it that I had and finished the other side. So there's the first side of the boat fixed up, and there is the second side. So once again, over all the cracks, fiberglass with the epoxy. Next up is this Marine Adhesive Sealant 5200. That stuff is supposed to be like the gold standard of all sorts of boat repairs and glues. People online literally called it the universal adhesive. So I literally took this crap and spread it over all of the damage. So you can see it right there. Sprayed it, squirted it down, and rubbed it across using a spatula to get it even. Next up is I had to rebuild the Dagger Board. So the Dagger Board is the piece that goes down the middle of the boat to keep it from flipping over when the wind's pushing on it. Also helps you to sail into the wind. So I got the specs for it online, cut it out, and got it started. Didn't fully finish it. So next up was the boat seam repair. So the seam that holds the top of the boat and the bottom of the boat all together, that goes all the way around the boat, was cracked. So I literally had to go through with more of that Marine Adhesive 5200 sealant stuff and run it all around that edge and seal this edge so that it became waterproof, because I did not want any water getting in while I'm sailing and just freaking take on water and end up at the bottom of the pond or lake of whatever I was sailing on. So I went all around the entire edge of the boat, and yes, I suck with a camera. I didn't even think about tipping it sideways, so my bad. But anyway, you can see it went all around the edges to fix that entire crack that went all the way around. Also, along the center of the boat there were some parts that had been chunked out by the guy who had it before me hitting rocks or something. So I went through and fixed all of those as well with the same stuff. So literally just rammed it in there, squared it off, and patched any holes. So this is the rudder for the boat. So the rudder for the boat is in pretty bad shape, waterlogged, damaged up. So what I did is I took the hand sander to it, sanded off all of the crap and the corrosion and whatnot off of the wood to clean it up so that it was ready for epoxying later. So we'll take a look at that in a little bit. Next, I got my uncle to cut the rest of the board because he's amazing at all of this work that he does. So you can see right here we are cutting the leading edge of the boat, and by saying we, I mean he. But anyway, this is what the board looks like at the end. So you see it looks like a knife edge. It's got a little swept end on the front so that it can cut through the water, which is to the left of this picture. So it really came out awesome. This is actually like almost exactly how it looks in the spec sheet, so he did a really good job, and I thank him a lot. Next, we had to make the repairs to the sail. So the sail had quite a few issues with it. Well, not really too many. The ropes were a little beat up, so I replaced some of those. I had to tie down the end of the sail, which I didn't take a picture of because it's literally just tying another rope onto that. No big deal. But the big issue were the holes. So you can see there's a bunch of little holes all along that. So I got this RV awning repair tape. Awning repair tape for like $4. Stuck that stuff over all of the cracks and all the rips and all the tears that were all over this to put it back together so it does not fall apart. And now the sail fully takes on wind and has no issues. You cannot even see the repairs on there. If you can see them, call them out in the comment section because I doubt you can actually see them. Ah, crap, I just saw it right there. So this is another little close-up of the repair on the bottom of the boat, so you can see it squared off nicely. This is after removing all the wood weight that I had on top of it, showing you that the repair came out pretty nice. It's a little uneven. If I really wanted to, I could sand it and make it perfectly smooth, but I'm not feeling it. It floats, and it does not move whatsoever. I mean, I tried punching it right here. I'm pretty sure, yeah. You can't do anything to that. That is permanently stuck there, so that worked out pretty darn well. Now is the final assembly, just making sure everything fits together before I take it out to the water this weekend. But basically, you can see the mast fits in just fine. Another shot with the mast inside of it, taking off of the sander, but there's a shot of it from the distance. It looks more and more like a boat every second. That's with the Dagger Board in the middle, so it fits in perfectly fine right down the middle. There's the sail set up next to it. And then if we go to the next image, you can see I've got the mast with the sail and it ready to rig. And then we go to me finally raising the sail on it and completing just about everything that has to be done on this boat as far as making it water-worthy. So the wind was blowing towards the shed, which made it a little bit difficult. But anyway, sail goes up just fine. I just got to pull it up and it's good to go. So that is the sailboat and what it looks like as far as the repairs and everything that were the major stuff that had to be done. The only stuff left to do after getting this mast up is going to be to epoxy in the Dagger Board as well as the rudder. So the two pieces of wood that are in the water, covering them in a layer of plastic so that they don't take on water, get waterlogged, and end up corroding or eroding or falling apart, rotting I think is the word. So these are the epoxies that I used. Basically just mix the two-part epoxy together, coat it on top of the pieces with a little bit of fiberglass on the leading edge in case I hit something to sort of protect it. And that's basically just going to play out and show me painting these up. But once these were painted, that was it. The boat was done, and every repair that needed to be made was made on the boat. But all in all, this was probably one of the most fun projects I have ever done. I mean, it took me about 3 weeks to fully get this all put together. All in all, I spent about $250 USD fixing this boat. So I got it for really, really cheap and made some nice repairs to it. Were relatively cheap as well. And it's honestly, it's water ready. I tested it in the water actually the other day. It floats, it's beautiful, it does everything that it should. So if you were ever interested in doing an outdoor hobby, I would highly recommend this one. It's super fun. It only took a couple weeks to put everything back together and get it going. And it really, really is, it's just a ton of fun. Anyway, guys, I do hope you've had fun. I hope you enjoyed seeing my process and how I worked through getting this thing back in the water. If you do like the videos, obviously make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out some of the other videos as they come up. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you at the next stream, video, or wherever I happen to see you. Peace.